Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? A little. I think I'm competing with Christmas music today. So if I'm going to sound like I'm yelling, you're good. How is everyone else? Can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, I just got to settle the nerves. Okay, so we're going to get started. I can invite anyone else if they want to put their devices up here. Feel free. Okay, deep breath. I'm going to get started. I'm Inspector Jennifer McKinnon. I'm the Divisional Commander of our Major Crimes Division. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us at what can only be described as a very festive winter wonderland at CF Polo Park. With Santa's shop directly behind us and the Christmas carols, which I'm competing with this morning in the background, it's a perfect setting to jumpstart our holiday shopping season. Fun fact, so I've done some research before I came today. Fun fact, did you know that CF Polo Park was built in 1959 and is not only the largest shopping destination in Winnipeg, but is the 15th largest. There are a few shoe stores in this that know me as a frequent customer. Can't help it, a girl loves her shoes. With that said, I can't imagine what the first 4 years felt like in Winnipeg without a roof, especially on a day like today. Are you having a hard time hearing me? Okay, I'll try to speak louder. It only seems fitting that we're here today in the spirit of working. It only seems fitting that we're here today in the spirit of working together for a joyful and safe holiday season. Joining me today is Peter Havens, the General Manager of Polo Park, which is over here, along with his security teams and loss prevention managers. Although too shy to come on camera, I'd also like to acknowledge the retailers throughout the city, and they are here with us today, who have attended in the spirit of collaboration. You've heard me say it many times, we can't do this alone. I'd also like to thank Winnipeg Police Acting Chief Art Standard for attending today and his continued support of the retail community and our members on this collaborative effort. And lastly, the gentleman standing behind me, our community support or community relations unit. And we did have some cadets that were going to join us here today, but unfortunately we're unable to make it. As the holidays quickly approach, Winnipeg Police Service is committed to creating a safe and enjoyable environment for everyone. It is not lost on me that this time last year, I stood before all of you with a strong message to shoplifters on Santa's naughty list. As a police service, we are committing to the safety of our communities, our retailers, and the employees throughout the holiday season. That message has never faltered. And on May 29th, the Manitoba government announced temporary funding for police overtime to curtail offenses related to retail theft, violence, and general public disorder. What became widely known as the Violent Crime Retail Theft Overtime Project was launched in June with a view to deter crime, apprehend offenders, and provide education to retailers and a community across the city, utilizing officers from the Major Crimes Division, community relations, and community support units to deliver a three-pronged approach that included target enforcement, visible presence, and a high-level engagement with the biz organizations, in Osborne Village, West End, and the Exchange District. This meant commanders, divisions, units, and officers within our service had to work together and collaborate with community and retailers, forming new partnerships and relationships that I'm confident will continue in the future. It would be remiss of me not to thank the Manitoba government, in particular the Premier and Justice Minister, for their support and confidence in our service and the retail community to work together towards a common goal. I'd also like to acknowledge the commitment to public safety from our Mayor City Council, and the Police Board. And we have Marcus Chambers joining us here today, and we very much appreciate your support. Retail theft and related incidents have a significant impact on our community, and we continue to take proactive steps to address these challenges. Together, we can make a difference. So what is next? I know it's silly, but taking a page from Dr. Seuss' Christmas classic, and since we're standing in front of Santa's Village, maybe Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. That can be said for the same for retail theft. It's not always about the theft itself, but more about the safety of our workforce and our community. We do not want the Grinch to steal our holiday shopping season. Our service remains committed to ensuring a safe and successful shopping experience. Crime Stoppers, so I guess what I'm gonna go off script here and just lay it out. So what we're gonna be doing and what you can expect to see is Crime Stoppers is continuing to partnership in regards to our holiday season retail theft most wanted list. These are gonna be our offenders that are chronic. These are not our one-off shoplifters. These are chronic repeat offenders that have used violence when completing the act of theft. That list is going to be coming out if it hasn't already. Our Community Relations and Public Information Office is going to be crime safety and prevention tips through our social media. Just a little hint, I would suggest you tune in to Facebook and Instagram from our service on more information that's going to come to help you navigate the holiday season. Our Major Crimes Division, so this is going to be our property crimes officers along with our major crimes officers. We're going back to the three-pronged approach that we were doing through June until this time. So this is going to be a combination of focused enforcement on retail hubs throughout our city. This is not unique to Polo Park. We are going to be throughout our retail areas in Winnipeg. This is going to be with a view to enforcement, but with an emphasis on visible presence. We want you to come out. We want you to enjoy shopping. You need to get those gifts under your trees, and we want our officers to be out. We want them to be present. We want you to see them, and we want you to feel safe and be able to enjoy the Christmas carols that I'm currently fighting to speak over. Our community relations team does engagement with retailers and the business community. They go out to their stores, they talk about safety, prevention, reporting to the police service, and they will continue with that work. And then back to our community support units and our foot patrol units who are out on the streets. They will continue to do engagement, not only in the downtown and the shed, but they're going to be out in Osborne Village, the West End, and the Exchange through this season, and we'll continue with that. So with a visible presence and support of our community, I'm pretty confident that we can make this an enjoyable holiday season for everyone. I'd like to now introduce you to the General Manager of Polo Park, who's also going to say a few words. This is Peter Haven.
Thank you, Inspector McKinnon. On behalf of the tenants and staff of CF Polo Park, I'd like to extend my welcome to the Winnipeg Police Services we see here today and Marcus Chambers. Appreciate you coming out. And my special thanks to Inspector McKinnon for the opportunity to participate in this forum and gather here today to discuss how we can work cooperatively to secure a safe and Christmas shopping season. My team here spends a great amount of effort to create a unique Christmas and holiday experience with beautiful decor, twinkling lights, Santa, and the warmth of the holiday season. However, we spend even more time and effort to prioritize the safety and well-being of the over 10 million visitors and staff who choose to work in and around CF Polo Park each year. At CF Polo Park, we understand that a safe shopping environment is fundamental to the enhanced shopping experience. Our dedicated security team is on high alert, working around the clock to ensure that every shopper feels secure while they browse, shop, and celebrate. If you notice anything out of the ordinary or suspicious or concerning, please don't hesitate to speak up. Our security team is always ready to respond and appreciate your vigilance in these times. We have and continue to work closely with Winnipeg Police Services, and shoppers can expect to see an increased police presence in the centre during our busiest time of year. Our goal is to create a safe and enjoyable environment where you can focus on truly what matters, the joy of the season. So let's make this Christmas not just a time for giving, but also a time of safety and enjoyment for ourselves and each other. Thank you for your attention and happy shopping, and welcome to CF Polo Park.
Thank you very much. I know it's very difficult. I didn't realize that the Christmas carols were going to be so loud. So we will take some questions, Peter and myself. But I am going to remind you that Christmas is about the kids, and we have Santa's Village is going to be opening up behind us shortly. So any questions? So the Retail Theft Initiative was something that we actually started this time last year. That transitioned in June, the end of May and June, when the Manitoba government made its funding announcement, and it became the Violent Crime Retail Theft Overtime Project. Now we do still have funding that we are operating under for December, but we are transitioning now out of that overtime funding, and we are looking towards the future and our commitment to addressing retail theft as we move forward into the new year. So that's what we're doing now. We are taking principles from that overtime funding. That was our three-pronged approach. So that's our visible presence, that's our community engagement, that's our enforcement, being out in the malls and addressing the shoplifting, as well as our visible presence in the Exchange, the West End, and as well as Osborne Village. So we're building on that for Christmas, and you're going to see a lot more officers out and about. Yeah. Well, I think what's happened is it's all under the same funding, and I think we're trying to label something by giving it the Retail Theft Initiative, the Violent Crime Retail Theft Project. We're continuing time to name it. This is addressing community safety for shoppers in Winnipeg. So, yeah. No, we started that because, as you know, we have a property crime unit already within the Winnipeg Police Service that was created some years ago to address retail theft specifically, as well as break-and-enters and other property crimes that we don't talk about today. What happened is with the overtime funding, our property crimes unit, it can cause burnout among officers. They work a Monday to Friday schedule. They were doing this overtime funding on their weekends. So essentially my officers weren't having a day off, and my major crimes officers were willing and interested to take up some of that time. So we transitioned, they're investigators, they work in the same division, but we were able to spread the overtime to address, our well-being of our own members, and that's why they got involved. Yep. So what you're going to see, and what we're trying to do is, I think what you saw in spring break, and I don't know if, sorry, you can't hear me, can you? At spring break, we changed our tactics. We're always trying to layer and change. So Christmas, we did what was called covert enforcement. So when I mentioned the Santa's naughty list, that was back to the premise of you don't know when, you don't know where we're going to be out there. In spring break, we had taken a different approach because we expect a large volume of people out with their families, kids picking up extra shifts on their time off through spring break to be able to supplement their income and work. And we felt that when you have such a large group in the retail hubs of Winnipeg, that a visible presence, I think, gets more bang for its buck in regards to the perception of safety. What we learned through the violent crime retail theft overtime funding was the biggest response from the retailers and the community was the engagement with the police officers, seeing that beat officer walking the street, seeing the officers in the mall. So for Christmas, our plainclothes officers will be out here. They will be visible. You will see who they are. They will not be dressed as same as these, but they will have their jackets on that will identify them as Winnipeg police officers and where they're working. And they will be collaborating with our community support units that will also be a visible uniform presence. So you're going to see both together. So what we do is we have wonderful crime analysts that are much smarter than I am that can delve into this data, and they identify hotspots that are the highest numbers of crime or hotspots in an area. But with that said, just because we're in a location, say Polo Park, does not necessarily mean it's one of the hotspots for crime. We're also looking at the largest amount of people that are going to gather in areas. So that's going to be in our big retail box outlet areas, our outlet malls, our malls, Polo Park, St. Patel, Kildona Place, Garden City, and then we'll pay some other attention based on the data where else we can put some attention to. Yeah. Yeah. Well, my question to you is, why wouldn't it be a priority? I think we've shown in the last year, and from the support of the retail community that have shown up here today, our community wants this to be a priority. Our retailers want this to be a priority, and our service listens to what our community wants. And when our community says they don't feel safe, our young people who are starting out in retail and this is their first job, and that could be any one of your sons or daughters out there, and you're a parent and you're uncomfortable them going to work because of something that might happen in the store, that's concerning. And as a police service, we're not going to ignore that. And we've committed to working with the retailers, working with the community to try to do something about it. I think it would be very remiss of us if we ignored this issue. I'm just going to take a few more questions because I know we're going to be opening up soon. Is there anything else I can? In regards to the actual overtime funding, what we're looking at is I actually came down here. I'm a shopper at Polo Park, so I actually came down on a Monday. So I came down Monday evening, probably a few weeks ago, so might not be reflective of what's happening now, but there wasn't a lot of people here. So our overtime funding shifts, we're looking more towards the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is what we're looking for. But with that said, there you might see us out in some of the other mom and pop community areas on a different day, but our overtime is focusing towards the weekend where we're going to have the highest number of citizens out and about doing their holiday shopping. And I'm probably going to be one of them because I haven't started yet. So. You know what? And I have to say, I really have to commend and thank our divisional commanders. These are the inspectors that are our divisions in our downtown, our West District, our East District, and North End. They've really stepped up to this. They were very committed through the summer months on the overtime funding, and they have said, hey, this is something we can do outside this overtime funding. So they will join us to facilitate some of the weekend work. But if you haven't seen them already, they have been out here while they're working. These are our community support officers that have actually been out in the retail hubs throughout our city and have been a visible presence. I also have to say our community relations team that are standing behind me, this is the work they do. And it's unfortunate that we're only highlighting it in the sense of, a retail theft epidemic. I don't know how you want to describe it in our city. These officers behind me, this is what they do long before you ever saw me at the podium. This is part of their work. They engage with the community on a regular basis, and they engage with our retailers, and they go out and do safety planning. They go through their store environmental design, and then they give them information on reporting. So that's also work that doesn't happen on overtime and is part of what they do. You're good? Okay, I think we'll wrap it up if that's okay. You know what? I really appreciate it. It's challenging. I know you can't hear me, but I appreciate you coming out and supporting us.